Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon. Last episode, we went and built up a vine farm here, fought a wither underneath our redstone pit, and set out to go get this Vex armor trim from a woodland mansion, and came back with 7 more allays. I don't know what we're going to do with these guys. Right now, they're just sitting over here. Maybe we'll use them to help us mine out this area. Just transport all the stone right into the storage system. But on our very long walk back, we managed to stumble upon a azalea tree in the wild, so we got a whole bunch of rooted dirt, which is something that we've been needing out in the end, and we managed to stumble upon a jungle temple that had smithing templates in it. So we managed to get 2 templates that we were missing from that one adventure, a bunch of resources we needed, and so today I think we're going to be heading back out to the end to go get started on, I think, the last project over there, other than the ocean. We still need tons and tons of endstone for that. So I'm going to go gather up a few stacks of deep slate down here, because I do need a whole bunch of cobbled deep slate. Then I'll be back once we are ready to get started. Alright, so a few things gathered up, and we are now over here at our last marked area, at least on top of the island. We still have quite a bit to go on the underside here, but it is looking pretty good. We've almost gotten half the layers done. Got that little section there, and then 3 more layers all the way around. But we aren't working on that today. We are working on this circle here. So as you can see, we have a path that goes up here. Got it most of the way up. And I'm looking at this, and this is going to be hard to do the doorway. But what I'm thinking is we are going to have a mix of mostly deep slate tiles and deep slate bricks. You want to mix a few of our polished blackstone bricks into there as well. Also got some polished blackstone and chiseled polished blackstone as well. Don't know if we're actually going to use those. Might think I mostly want the blackstone here at the bottom, but we do need to go and get some stuff here sorted out. Do want to use some copper for the roof, which means that we need to go and fuel all of these furnaces. So that will just smelt up while we build up the walls here. But I'm thinking we're gonna have, what is this, 9 by 9? So apparently this is a 15 block circle. It's been a while since I've messed with this. But we are going to have this circle here. Just need to replace all of this wall with our blocks. Again, I don't know how we're going to do the door here. We may have to move the path. Might end up having to happen. But we just need to basically replace this wall here with our palette and see how that goes. So I am going to go and get this set up and again figure out how we're going to do the door. Do want this to be about 5 blocks tall, so we're probably going to focus the blackstone here in the bottom 2, maybe 3 layers. That's what I'm thinking. Just see quickly how this looks. So that's 4 layers. I do think that looks pretty nice. I think we'll start with 5 layers and see where that takes us. Should be good enough to start for this. So I'm going to go get this built up here. Maybe figure out how exactly we're going to do the door, because I do have stuff planned for inside of here. And then I'll be right back. Alright, and there we go. I did end up going up to 7 blocks for the walls here. I felt like that worked a little bit better. And as you can see, we already dug out the space here for the floor. Now what I'm thinking is probably going to do some deep slate tiles. Kind of want to maybe do some sort of pattern here with the deep slate and the blackstone. Not quite sure. Start with something like that for now. Here is our center, so maybe something with that. And we have a bunch of copper here. Turns out I underestimated the amount that we were going to need. So that's going to be fun when we actually go and put the dome on here. We definitely do not have enough honeycomb, so we may have to do something about that. Probably go and put more shears into our honey farm back at the redstone pit. But I think this will work pretty well. Again, we do have to get the floor in still. But I'm thinking our telescope is going to point out this way because we do want to be able to use it, and it doesn't exactly make sense for it to stick out and look at the island. That could be kind of a cool for an observation deck place somewhere. But we'll have it go looking out over the void, so we'll have to have the opening in the roof over here. So I'm thinking that we're either going to have a platform here, which you can stand and look through the telescope that way, or we'll have it here and we'll just put the telescope up over it. Not quite sure. Guess let's start by putting it over here. Probably actually have that be full slabs. Knock those out later. But I'm thinking we're going to use mangrove for this section here. Just do nice little balcony here. Start doing it this way. If we don't like it, we can always change it. That gives us 2.5 blocks there. And then 4 up there. I mean, the obvious middle point would be to do it where we originally started doing blocks, which would be 3.5 above, 3 below. But going to be doing full. I think 4 blocks is going to look too tall on the bottom for us to do 4 and 3. So we'll put it here for now, figure out what we're doing for that later. But what I think we're going to do is we'll do this here. We'll do stairs coming down to the main section here. Let's see, we've got 2 stairs. That's not exactly going to be enough. Maybe we'll use some deep slate or something. But we'll do stairs there. That'll go down there. So 2 there. Okay. Guess that'll work. We'll have this go out another block anyway. Actually, maybe 3 blocks for the stairs. I think that's a good start. And there's still stuff that we have to play around with to figure out exactly what we want to do. And I need to get more stairs. So I'm going to go get that gathered up, figure out more of what I want to do for the floor in here, and then I'll be right back. All right. I think that looks like a pretty nice floor. It's not anything too complicated. I like the copper, and I think that adds a nice little bit of color into here. And I'm thinking maybe we might swap some of this out for deep slate tile just on the edge here. Obviously, these stairs are still going to be mangrove, but maybe just trim this with the tile. That might look good, but we do need to get in our telescope. That will just go up over here. But what I'm thinking is we might as well work on getting the roof in. Now I'm thinking we're going to use quite a few of these just full copper blocks. And we're basically going to do a half circle here. So that should be about 2. Actually, no, we'll go 3. And then just kind of build this up just like how our wall here is. So we'll just do a half dome like that. Go down here and see if that is too high. I think it looks okay. Though I think we probably want to lower that by a block. So instead of doing 3 up, we're only going to start out with 2. We just won't include the center block when we are doing our sections. That's easy enough. Makes a little bit more sense, I suppose. You know, I completely forgot to take into account that this is not the same size as our outer circle. And now everything's off a block. Great! Well, that's going to make things a little bit more interesting for figuring out how this needs to go. So let's see, the easiest way to get that would be to basically take the center thing here. So it should just be 2, 1, 2. That is a lot simpler. Should use a lot less copper too. And I suppose we should have to see how that works. Let's take a look. So the one thing there is our original mistaken shape. Other one here is the replacement. I think for that we do want to go and include the center block. So we just need to get this built up here. Shouldn't be too difficult. And it's just placing in a lot of the copper here. What we'll probably do is we will probably go and at least keep the center here in the cut copper blocks, or the uncut copper blocks, And then maybe we'll fill in some of the outside section here with the copper. That should allow us to get a few more blocks in before we completely run out of copper blocks, because these things are expensive, though we do have tons of copper. I just don't want to have to wait for it to smelt. So maybe we'll use some of the cut copper. We'll use some stairs and slabs in there too to make it a little bit more round and see how it goes. But one thing we definitely need is we are definitely going to need some more honeycomb. And I did grab a few that we had extra from the stack. We used quite a bit waxing up the stuff inside the observatory. And what I'm thinking is we're going to use some fences here. And we'll just make a small little apiary over here. Nothing too fancy. I think we're pretty much just going to build up our fence post here by about 4 blocks. Put the campfires out a couple blocks. See, yeah, I think a couple blocks is going to be good because I want to suspend the hives from the fences. And we'll have to put some carpets over that so the bees don't burn themselves. But I'm going to go get this built up and set up with a couple bees that we have from the other side of the island, and get the rest of that roof in for the observatory, and then I'll be right back. All right, there we go. This is just what we had so far. Kind of ran out of our mangrove fences here, so we are going to have to go get a few more of those, but we have the 2 hives in. We've got a few bees, and it looks like those actually need to be collected. I do not have any shears on me right now, but we do have a decent amount of honeycomb. It ended up actually going back to the redstone pit to grab stuff from there because that I have automated. This is just going to be a nice little kind of casual one that we can just harvest from as we go. If I can remember where any of my shears are. But we have the roof all the way in. Now, this isn't quite fully the way I want it, because we do have it going all the way around with no gaps. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we are going to take out a bit of section of this side here. Actually go on the outside to grab that because it'll be easier to show there. But basically we are going to be removing a section of the roof up here and basically just replacing it with an open hole. So we need to clear that because this is all waxed, so it's not going to stack. But we just need to dig down here, down to our base layer. I think we're going to keep that there. So we do need to go and make sure we remember to wax the stuff. But this will go up like this. We'll keep our basic thing here of doing the uncut copper. Just regular copper blocks. That's what it is. On the outside here. And that sound is kind of ugh. Anyway, just gonna keep that going up, and I think one more layer, and then we'll do 3 on that kind of flat-ish layer up top. That should be good, and that should provide a big enough space for our telescope to look out of. There we go. That's going to be our space for a telescope. I think that looks all right. Now we just need to get our telescope in. So we've got that there. So let's just go and build up a rough thing here. So we want our end to be here. We'll just make it a 3x3, I think. But we want that center block open there. And then we just need to bring it down to the platform, I think. And see how that works. That just looks really, really wrong. Okay, I clearly don't know how to build a telescope. And also we're out of copper blocks, so let's just use cut copper here. It should look fine. Or rather, copper blocks for the ends of the telescope. That makes sense. And we'll do the rest in our waxed cut copper blocks. That should be good. Plus those also have stairs and slabs, so we can possibly use those to make this thing look a little better. Hopefully. Well, we know where the end is. We just need to figure out how we're going to get there. This should be interesting. I'm going to figure out how we're getting this telescope in so we can look out into the void, and then I'll be right back. All right, so it is barely any better. I think one of the things we need to do is we need to actually have this go down a little bit sharper here instead of being so smooth. Hopefully that'll help get this to be a little bit better, but this is very, very much not that great. I think part of it is we keep the 3x3 way too long. This needs to go down quite a bit here. And hopefully that fixes it. All right, that looks slightly better. It's still not great by any sense of the word, but it is slightly better. Question is it even going to work? We have none of the glass panes that make a telescope work in there, so we may need to grab some of those. We should have some glass panes somewhere over there, but the observatory, at least, I am happy with, even if the telescope is less than stellar. But I just need to go and fiddle with that. Maybe once we get the glass pane in, it'll work a little bit better. Do we even have any clear glass panes? No. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to go get some clear glass panes so we can get the lenses into this thing. But beyond that, it looks okay. Not overly happy with it. Again, I need to fiddle with that and get it so that it works to my liking. I think it could also be an issue of the scale that we're working in here. That could be part of the issue. But I think for now, it'll do. It will do. But with that in our somewhat unfortunate looking telescope there, I think that that is probably going to be it for today. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more of what is going on out here in this end hub and in the rest of this world. And I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.